love the content creation and stuff like that. I know you have a daughter, so I want to talk about like family life and stuff like that, because I have an 8-year-old son and I have a 5-year-old daughter. And so I kind of want to, my daughter's turning into like a little diva, I think. So I kind of wanted to get like a male perspective on, how do you handle like certain situations with your daughter, and like how do you, raise her to become, a great lady later on in life.
Yeah, for sure, man. It's a challenging time. My daughter's 11, and she's definitely coming out of that kind of kid stage into more of a I guess a preteen. So not as interested in dolls and toys anymore. It's more about makeup and friends and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's a challenging thing, and I'm learning lots. I definitely don't have all the answers, but I think me and my wife are doing a fairly good job. She's turning out to be a great little girl, and yeah, I'm definitely nervous for the 10 years, the next kind of 5 to 6 years, going into 15, 16-year-old. It's going to be a wild ride, I'm sure, but we're ready for the challenge. So yeah, I mean, being a dad, it's by far my number one role in life, is being a father. I love it.
Yep.
It's so challenging, so rewarding. And I try to be really intentional with her, and really, cherish the time, whilst a kid, because, before you know it, she'll be an adult. So I'm trying to make the most of this time now and really appreciate what it is, which can be hard, when you're running a business and, you're someone who's driven and want to make things happen in life. You can easily neglect, other roles, but yeah, I'm trying my best to be intentional with it. So yeah, man.
Very cool. Very cool. So I know she's very interested in friends and all that stuff. So and obviously that's going to be taking more time away from you, but how do you guys connect to be like, a great, dad and daughter, combo? And you can include your wife too, but like, I just kind of the dad and daughter aspect.
Yeah, I think it's just trying to find, things that she's interested in, and just trying to meet her there. Like, it's easy to try and I always, I found myself in the early days trying to make her do the things that I love. Like I try and get her involved in fitness because I love fitness, or I try and take her to the driving range and hit balls because I love golf. And what I've realized is it should be the other way around. I should look at the things that she's interested in and try and really spend time there. So, if she's really into playing Minecraft, then instead of going, oh, get rid of the iPad, turn that thing off, it's no good for you. She loves it. Why not actually look at what she's doing, look at what she's building, and try and learn a bit more about the thing that she loves, or she loves makeup. So the other night I got her she's got this nighttime facial routine, and I said, hey, why don't you take me through your nighttime facial routine and do it on me, give me a facial, before I go to bed. So it's just, I think, just flipping the tables and not making it about her, and really thinking about what she's interested in, and trying to really show her interest. I think that's really valuable. So yeah.
Please tell me you took a picture of the nightly facial
I don't
mask
know.
stuff.
I got plenty of photos of me, with makeup and cucumbers on the eyes. I don't think we took a photo this time around, but I've got plenty of those photos over the years. For
God,
sure.
that'd be funny if you posted on social, posted on like Instagram or something like that, or even do it like a YouTube. Like, oh, I'm not telling you what to do, but like at least do it on YouTube, saying, "Hey, this is my daughter's like facial routine, and I'm gonna go through it." So
Totally, man. People would love it. I think most of my audience is kind of 35 to 55-year-olds, and predominantly males as well. So I do think people enjoy that real content because they can relate to it. They got kids as well. So yeah, it's tough, man. I think as a parent, you put so much pressure on yourself to create this great little human. You want them to succeed and be a great adult, and you put so much pressure on yourself to do things by the book. But everyone's story is different. Like everyone's kid's different, and so I think we've got to have a bit of grace for ourselves. I think if you focus on setting a great example, that's probably the main thing I've found is, like, if I just be a great male around her, she'll learn what a great male looks like, and she'll look for that in life. And same with my wife. She just tries to be a good role model, and in the way she treats me and the way she treats others. And kids pick up things, by just watching you. And I think that's way more powerful than trying to do things by the book, because for me anyway, by the book hasn't really worked with my daughter.
yeah,
I just continually feel like I'm failing because I read about the principle in the book or what works for someone else, and it doesn't work for me, and you feel like you're failing, when it's like you got to take a bit of pressure off yourself, and just as long as you're setting a great example around her, she's going to watch and learn from that. So that's what I try and focus on.
yeah. So how many times have you kind of let her off the hook a little bit? So like she's like, "Oh, I want candy" or something like that. You know, it's like not the best option for her, but you're like, "Ah, screw it, go ahead." You know, just something like that.
Yeah, all the time. I mean, she's pretty spoiled. Like she's the only child. Um, but you know my story. You know, we lost a little baby boy back in 2014, and I think for us, because we weren't able to have more kids after Benji passed away, um, we've kind of spoiled Kara because she's our only daughter, and you just end up, you know, she's so precious to you that you do end up, you know, overdoing things sometimes. So
Hmm.
so yeah, I definitely naturally lean towards the spoiling and allowing things, and I've got to pull back a lot. So yeah, I let off the hook all the time of things. But again, you know, she sees dad exciting every day. She sees dad trying to eat healthy. I've got a real sweet tooth, so you know, me and her, you know, we'll grab a treat every now and then without mum knowing, and it's kind of our little thing, you know, like when she's with dad, she gets to eat chocolate. When she's with mum, she doesn't, you know. So it's kind of a cute little thing that we have.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's special as well. And again, like she's going to grow up and she'll be able to make her own decisions when it comes to health and all that stuff. So for now, like, yeah, I try and ease up and let her be a kid, you know. Yeah,
Yeah. So
yeah.
does she have any interest in like what you're doing for like YouTube or anything like that? It just does she see you like work really hard and she's like, "Hey, I may want to try that like later on in life or whatnot."
She actually just today, earlier today, asked me about editing software because she was filming herself on her iPad. I think she was filming her makeup routine on her
Okay.
iPad, and she wanted to know what the best software was to kind of edit the video. So she's showing a bit of interest in that, and then she follows a few YouTubers. You know, people like she follows one lady that does like slime, great slime, and
Oh, those are so huge. It's insane.
yeah, so she's got a whole lab, you know, and our laundry is just slime everywhere at the moment. Um, so yeah, so you know, she follows a few YouTubers, and then she sees her dad making videos. So yeah, she definitely has an interest in it, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And like you're
yeah,
not the type of person that would like pressure her in that stuff too, because for example, like my son, he has a podcast called Curiosity and the Kid, and like we were doing it like every week, but it got to the point where like I didn't want to pressure him into creating more, more episodes unless he wanted to do it. And then like,
exactly.
he's taking a break and then finally he's like starting to say like, "Hey, can we do another episode? Can we do like," and I'm like, "Yeah, sure, let's go." And so, and it's like even with working out too, like he'll see me working out in the basement or getting seeing like videos of me in the gym and whatnot. And so he's like, "Okay, can I start working out with you?" And so and then like I'll do whenever he wants to stop, I'm gonna say, "Yeah, that's perfectly fine. Just stop." So is that kind of the same what you do?
Yeah, it's a fine line, between allowing your kids to just do things on their own terms, but at the same time, obviously, want to encourage them, you know, to do well and to try things as well. It is tough. I try and make it seem like it's their idea, not like it's her idea, you know. So obviously, I want her to be an active kid, but she's not that sporty. Like she's not that interested in sport as such. Um, but I'll try and somehow, you know, engineer it so it seems like it's her idea that we take the dogs for a walk together, or that we, you know, do a 20-minute stretch together, or whatever it is.
Hmm.
So yeah, but at the same time, you're right. It's got to come from them, especially when it comes to you know, when they're young and it comes to like career interests. I think a lot of parents can be way too intense about their kids pursuing, you know, starting to develop skills at the age of like 10 or 11 for their
Yeah.
career. I'm like, you know, this who knows what she's going to be and what she's going to do. So yeah, I just try and encourage her to do all sorts of stuff. But yeah, you're right. It's got to come from them, especially if
Hmm.
it's something like a YouTube channel. That's very important. There's no pressure for them to have to do it. You know? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So
Um,
do you show her like any like CrossFit athletes or any other athletes in general or like any people that that you may have an influence on that's like a female that you say, "Hey, this is a female that I follow and like, you should just take a look at what she does or this is what she's done." So, do you kind of like steer in a path to, show people like, "Hey, these are some people you may want to like, not emulate, but just like, look to see how they do it."
Yeah, I think we're really lucky that we have a great church community that we're really heavily involved with, and there's a lot of great ladies, great younger females in
Hmm.
the church that kind of are really intentional about hanging out with the young ones and kind of mentoring them as such, you know. So we've got like three of our kind of youth leaders that take some of the young ones out and invest in them and kind of just set the example for them. So that's, you know, we're really set up in that sense. Yeah, not specifically fitness as such, although she does, you know, like, I watch a lot of CrossFit. stuff that she sees fit, healthy, you know, females working out and pushing themselves. So she gets a bit of exposure to that. But yeah, she hasn't really shown interest in specific athletes. You know, like she doesn't follow. She's not a fan of like Mel O'Brien or, you know, Catherine Davis. Like she's not really
Yeah,
a sports fanatic as such. So she hasn't really like latched onto any athletes. Yeah. But she does have some great role models, which is really important. Yeah.
that's good. Well, she must like
Yeah.
Taylor Swift though.
She's, oh, bro. Yeah. That's her number one goal in life right now is to try and get to a Taylor Swift concert.
Okay.
Um, I think Taylor Swift's come to Australia early in the new year, but it's all sold out. So, yeah, she's got all the posters on a wall, and she's a big Swiftie. Yeah,
You know what I've heard? So I don't know if this is true or not, but I bet I can imagine this is true. So supposedly full-grown women wear diapers during the concerts because they don't want to leave their spot and miss a single second of the concert because obviously like the women's line is like really long, but yeah, they wear diapers so they can just watch the whole show and not worry about going to the bathroom.
I believe it. It's wild, but I believe it.
Yeah.
Isn't that insane? That's a little bit sad, to be honest.
Yeah, I
But
agree. I was like,
it's crazy.
you're literally like, your life is like revolving around this like one person that doesn't even know who you are. Like, yeah, you're a fan,
Yeah,
but she has no clue. She doesn't, she doesn't
yeah,
know
that's
you.
right.
So why spend your time with that?
Yeah, exactly. I think a lot of people do that. You know, people are just want to latch onto something. You know, have some kind of meaning or be part of some kind of group where they can find identity. You know, and often that's with celebrities and artists and whatnot. It's yeah, it's not great, to be honest. I don't think so. Yeah, so we try to really. It's a tough one again because as a young girl, they do really idolize these people, but yeah, we're trying to stay away from that word idolize and try and get it to understand that this is a normal person. She's got great gifts and does great music, but you don't have to like, you know, worship her as such. You know, there's more
Yeah.
to life than Taylor Swift. Yeah, we try and talk a little bit about that as, you know, as naturally as we can. But yeah, it's tough.